Good morning, everyone. I've been meaning to come on here and do this video for a while now, but I just haven't had time. But this video is actually for my fellow authors or anybody who is starting to get into writing. It's about hardcover books, which is something that I just recently started doing. First of all, I waited too long. I actually thought there was no way I was going to sell any hardcover books, and I was wrong. And I have to say, if you're considering doing hardcover and you've never done them before, do it. At least so far, my experience has been great. However, I actually tested out companies because I knew nothing about hardcovers, and I kind of wanted to learn everything I could before I got started with them, and I committed to one printer. So I actually tested out 2 different companies after looking into multiple. So Barnes & Noble Press does hardcovers. I decided not to go with them because they didn't distribute elsewhere. And I found quite a few others that did that as well, where they only had their books with whoever it was who printed them. And I didn't want that. I wanted my books available in multiple places. Well, I found 2 that distribute everywhere, and there might be more. I'm not saying that this was an extensive search and I did everything. I'm sure I missed something. But I came across 2 that were highly recommended. I'm not going to tell you who recommended them, but it's a site that I trust. So that's why I decided to test these 2. And those 2 places are Lulu and Ingram Spark. So I originally went to Lulu because that was the one that came up on top with the side-by-side comparison that this company did. And the reason for that, it really intrigued me. So I decided to test them out first. And their interface was very, very easy to use. I did come across the problem that they did not have the size book that I wanted. Ingram Spark also has some restrictions as far as size when it comes to the book. For example, a lot of my books are 5x8, and Ingram Spark does offer that size. However, once you start clicking certain things that you want, you know, as far as like the weight of the paper, the color of the paper, things like that, certain options get eliminated. So the one I wanted actually got eliminated due to the other options that I chose. So I did have to sacrifice size and go with one that was slightly larger than I wanted. That happened with both places though, so that was not something that swayed me in one direction or the other. I'm going to tell you a little bit about both of these. Lulu's interface was extremely easy to use, very user-friendly. Ingram Spark, it is pretty easy to use. However, it doesn't really like Safari, so it glitched quite a few times with me, and I would get on screens that said, don't refresh your page, but I would have to because Safari, I know I should get Chrome, but I hate Chrome, so I don't, and this happens to me on multiple sites. So it's not an Ingram Spark issue, and it's nothing that I hold against them because, like I said, I know it's because I was using Safari, so that was on me. But both of them pretty much tell you exactly what to do, when to do it. I did have one little slip with Ingram Spark where when I went to put the book up, it changed my pre-order to available now, and it made the book available to readers before I even got to get my proof and check it out. So that was a weird glitch. However, the next 2 books I did went off without a hitch. So it might have been an error on my end because I was new to the process. So again, I'm not going to hold that against them. But I do want to show you, I ordered proof copies of both, one from each company to see which one I liked better. And I'm going to show you Lulu's first. Now, I went with a matte cover because I love matte covers. This is the book that I got. And yes, it's not inverted. I hate the inverted filter, sorry. This, I don't know if you could tell, it's not matte. They call this matte. It's like a semi-gloss in my opinion. I don't know if you could hear that, but it's shiny and it feels shiny. When I ordered from Lulu, it's a true matte. Hopefully you can hear that, but you can hear the difference. Matte sounds different. It feels very different. It almost feels like buttery to me. That's so weird to say, but that's what it feels like. So when it comes to the true feel of matte, Ingram Spark, they win on that one. This one is a little semi-gloss. The color comes out a little darker as well on this one because of it. So there was that difference in the 2. Another difference with the covers themselves. This is what happens when I open the Lulu book. This paper is extremely thin. It doesn't stay on. So it's a little strange in that aspect, whereas Ingram Spark, this is heavy duty. I mean, it's really heavy duty. And I just kind of liked that better. The other cool thing about Ingram Spark is not only do you do a jacket with Ingram Spark, but you can have something on the casing itself, which my cover designer did the bullet hole here. And you can also customize your spine. When it came to Lulu, you couldn't do anything with the casing other than choose your color. It was either gray, I can't remember. It was either blue or cream. I think it was cream was the other option. There were only 2 options. And if you notice, you cannot customize your spine. They just literally put your title and your name on it. So you can't really make this fancy. I also don't really care for the feel. It's like, I don't know, like it's kind of like an old school hardcover, you know, like the old classics and everything. That's what you would expect with this. If that doesn't matter to you, then, you know, that's fine, you know. The other thing is when I open these books, this is the Lulu copy. If you could see what happens to the spine. This was, as soon as I got it, it was like this. So it's not like I broke the spine. This is just how the pages are in there. It kind of bothered me a little. When I got the Ingram Spark copy, it's more like this, where you could see the difference in the spine. So this feels more heavy duty to me and like it's going to hold up over time. It is the reason why I went with Ingram Spark in the end. Another reason why I chose them over Lulu was because Lulu wanted me to charge $38 minimum for the hardcover. And it's my book and I wouldn't even pay that. So I'm like, why are readers going to pay $38 for this if I'm not even going to pay that? So, yeah, that kind of turned me off. They do distribute everywhere. So it was not an issue of, you know, it wouldn't be available at all different sites. Lulu absolutely does that. They are completely free to use, which was another thing that drew me to them. They give you a free ISBN. They will distribute for you for free. There are no setup fees either. So as far as that goes, that was really appealing. If you want to just print books and, you know, have your own stock to sell, Lulu is probably the cheaper option. And it might be the way to go. But if you want your books to appear in libraries and bookstores and on different retailers online, I'm leaning toward Ingram Spark because there are setup fees. However, you can bypass the setup fees. There is a cost to doing that, though. It is not free to publish through Ingram Spark. You have to either pay the setup fee, which is $49 per title for both ebook and print, or just print. I think it's $25 if you're just doing ebook. But there's either that fee, or if you purchase ISBNs, you can bypass the setup fee because Ingram Spark will then let you use codes, which makes the setup fee free. So you have to pay for ISBNs or you have to pay the setup fee. It's one or the other. So if you already own ISBNs, then you can publish through Ingram for free using those codes. If you don't have ISBNs and you want to go the free ISBN route, they will provide them for you. They will absolutely do that. But then you have to pay $49 per book in order to publish them. To me, it made more sense to buy the ISBNs because that comes out to about $5 a book rather than $49 a book. It is more money up front though because you have to buy them in batches, but in the long run, you are saving a lot of money. So that's what I went with. As far as delivery, I had some issues with Ingram. This was one of the places where Lulu won. My Lulu copy arrived pretty quickly, so there wasn't a lot of wait period to get my proof. Even though I decided not to go with them in the end, they were very fast when it came to printing and shipping. Ingram, I had some issues. And again, I think Ingram was glitching back when I did this title because when I did books 2 and 3, they came within 2 weeks, which is pretty much how Lulu did it. It was like within 2 weeks. So maybe it was just something going on with Ingram at that time, though I have heard that the average is 21 days to get your books. And I have seen other authors say they had to wait a month. I had to wait a month for this, and it was only one book. But like I said, I think it might have just been a glitch at that time because I heard several authors who had trouble with things with Ingram around that time. So I don't know. I can't really say as far as that goes. But when it comes to quality and things like that, Again, it really depends. I mean, do you want a full matte cover? Because Ingram does that. Lulu is a little semi-gloss. Does it bother you that when you open the book, it kind of makes the spine look like this? I don't know. Maybe that's better. Maybe it's better for the pages. I'm not really sure because, like I said, this is my first time doing hardcover. So I don't know. To me, this looks more hardcore, but I've only had these books for a little while, so I can't really tell you as far as that goes. But again, if you just want to print books for yourself to sell, Lulu is the cheaper option. If you want your books to be able to be distributed everywhere, both companies will work. However, Ingram Spark has a nice little feature where they will let you offer discounts to libraries and booksellers. So you can select, I think it's anywhere from like 35 to 55% off of your cover price, which I love that option because a lot of times you'll see books on like Amazon and they're originally $30 and they cut them down to $20. It's Ingram Spark that's, you know, allowing that to happen because the author says, yes, you can discount my book. I wanted that feature because I figured I would get more sales that way, and bookstores are more likely to order your books if they do get a discount for it. So that's what I wanted to be available and why I decided to go with Ingram Spark in the end. But hopefully hearing about my experience with both companies and seeing the finished products of both companies will help you make your decision if you decide that you want to do hardcover in the future. And again, if you have not done hardcover, because you're thinking, you know, it's just one more thing. It's a whole lot of extra work to do. You know, you have extra covers that you have to pay for, things like that. Yes, it is. However, my hardcover sales far exceed my paperback sales. I never thought that that would happen, but it did. There are a lot of readers who only read in hardcover. And, you know, if you're thinking nobody's going to want to pay $20-something for a book, the hardcover book collectors, they will because they treasure these books. I do too. I love my hardcovers that are on my shelves. So don't be afraid to give it a try if you'd like to, and hopefully this information helps you as far as comparing these two companies. So if you know of any others or you've used any others, please let us know in the comments so that way it can help anybody else who is thinking about going through this endeavor. All right, hopefully that helps, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.